The Florida rental market is collapsing, and millions of Americans are about to go broke. And yet, over the course of the past week, I spoke to two industry experts, real estate professionals, people that I know who work in my market, who are advising their clients about the greatest opportunity to invest in short-term rentals right now. And because I'm very connected in the local market and I speak to lots of real estate professionals on a regular basis, I get inside information directly from the source of the agents who are advising their clients this way. And truthfully, the amount of restraint that I had to employ to not completely fall over and hit the floor and pass out by the stupidity of what I was hearing was immense. But I let them talk. I wanted to learn. And I got to hear and experience in real time that there are agents in my market right now for their own real estate portfolio of investment properties. They are using adjustable rate mortgages and HELOCs and all types of creative financing, all of which are subject to massive rate increases in the near future. And their portfolio is built on quicksand. The diversification is non-existent. These are a bunch of financial dominoes that are lined up one by one, with each being contingent on the equity of the last and the favorable mortgage interest rate of the last. And yet the equity and the interest rate are both variable. And we are headed into volatility season. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that I'm committed to telling people the truth, not necessarily what they want to hear, but I felt compelled and I felt a fiduciary responsibility, and truly just out of friendship, I asked some more probing questions to hopefully point these individuals in the right direction of common sense and have them ask the question, is this smart? Does this make sense? Or is your entire portfolio about to get completely freaking decimated because the interest rates and the equity are about to go in two opposite directions very fast at some point in the near future? But I asked the questions, and what I got was very confident delusional thinking and significant pushback, because every real estate professional knows that you can marry the house, date the rate, and home values only go higher up until they don't. And when they don't, that real estate investment portfolio goes poof, bye-bye. And yes, I know that's a small sample size, but it's what I see and hear in the market today, and I feel compelled to share it with you. But it wasn't one this week, it was two. I've got another real estate professional that I'm friends with who has a unique niche, has a unique client base. And I don't want to give away too much information because I don't want to reveal the identity of this person, but all I will say is they are working with clients that must park their investment money in a like-kind real estate investment in order to receive a tax benefit. Which is a long way of getting to, these clients must buy something in the real estate space in order to defer their tax burden. These are highly motivated individuals that must buy a home, at least according to my friend. The reality is that's not true. They could easily diversify and buy a different financial product. And having been a stockbroker for 20 years, I know there are other financial instruments that will check the box for these particular investors. But this agent is a one-trick pony, and they want to get paid. They want to earn a commission. They don't really have a big interest in advising their client about a different opportunity that is very likely far less risky. But as you might imagine, those folks don't want to hear anything about what I have to say on that particular matter. But because I am extremely curious and I want to know exactly what his thinking or her thinking is, I asked more questions because I really want to know what other professionals are advising their clients. But what I heard was completely alarming to me, because all I heard were the advantages and the pros of what could happen if everything keeps going higher, if the gravy train keeps on trucking. And almost zero consideration was paid to the extreme risk of inflation of other items relevant to a real estate transaction for a real estate investor. which blew my freaking mind. Because based on what they shared and the financial projections that they provided, and zero accounting for risk or risk tolerance in the near term, I know that these folks are giving horrible advice. And the truth is, I know they're not alone. They believe what they're saying, and they're getting high on their own supply. But it is a proof positive, real-time leading indicator that the Florida rental market is collapsing and millions of Americans are about to go broke. And while all of that happened this week, also this week, and for the last month, and really for the last quarter, I have continued to get bombarded by new construction and new builders who are incentivizing the market to buy their inventory. And it started with quick delivery inventory for a home where the previous buyer canceled and they need to get it off their books. But the intensity of the emails and the incentives has increased. And while at first these incentives were limited to quick delivery homes, the leading indicator here is that some builders in some Florida markets are offering major incentives right now for every product they have for sale. And builders offering incentives is a leading indicator that the market is changing and volatility is upticking. Meanwhile, Moody's Investment Service lowered its ratings outlook on the United States government to negative from stable, pointing to rising risks to the nation's fiscal strength. And if you think builders are feeling financial pain, how do you think the government feels knowing that it's funded until next Friday? And Congress is facing the looming threat of having to shut the government down again. Meanwhile, global threats loom. War is on the uptick. The Panama Canal doesn't have enough water in it. Inflation is out of control. Banks are at risk. Commercial real estate is about to get devastated. And Biden is about to meet with Xi Jinping. And while I suspect communication and relationship and rapport with world leaders is a really good start, a Russian missile just struck a commercial ship at a major Ukraine Black Sea port, highlighting the ongoing risks to commodity exports from Ukraine. But meanwhile, here in Florida, effective November 10th, an additional $30.5 million of Hometown Heroes funds were made available to eligible first-time homebuyers who live and work in Florida. Meanwhile, the market keeps trading, the sun keeps shining, and it's a great day in South Florida. Happy Veterans Day.